What's up, what's going on guys, how you all doing? I am back in the saddle heading down south for a ride with my two buddies here. This guy is Anonymous and this is my mate Max, and together we're going to ride out and have a good time. Yeah! The ride today is going to be around about 67 kilometers total. Starting off here, we just left the petrol station at Kiryat Gat, beginning with these desert vibes, and about 20 kilometers into the future we're going to head west towards the coast, and then we're going to head a little bit further north towards Ashkelon. So I've owned this CRF250L since 2018. It's been 3 years and 25,000 kilometers. And while I'm not saying I've outgrown the bike, I am exploring other options. This bike is extremely hard to move on from because it really does everything I need a bike to do, from riding trails to long journeys to dates with the wife to my daily commute. There's nothing this bike really isn't capable of, but there are some things that I really do want to improve. Obviously the main thing I want to improve is the power on road. I need a bit more horsepower. The other thing is the suspension is just too soft and I bottom it out too often. And the components on the bike are just generally cheap and easy to break. So obviously they're cheap to replace, but I also break them quite frequently. So I'm looking at something with maybe a little better build quality. If we just look at the guys that I'm riding with today, we've got, a guy on a WR250, we've got another 250 Rally and a Husqvarna 701. There are so many options out there, and so there are a few bikes that I've looked at. I guess the most obvious choice to move on from this would be the CRF300, which came out relatively recently, and it's an improvement in horsepower and a reduction in weight. However, there are two insurance groups in Israel, one below 250 and one above 250. So the 300 would put me in the most expensive insurance category for a relatively modest increase in horsepower. So I'm not sure that that's the right choice. We then have the WR250 from Yamaha, which keeps me in the same insurance bracket whilst increasing my off-road performance and increasing horsepower. However, that bike, there haven't been any new models in Israel since 2017 and they have all been abused. They're also very expensive for an older 250. Then I was thinking about something much bigger, which would be like the Tenere 700, which has fantastic reviews. It's a beautiful bike. I'm really attracted to that bike, but the massive jump in weight scares me a little bit off-road. Plus, it's a big jump in price, so I'm more likely to drop it because of its weight. It's going to be less maneuverable off-road and pretty scary to drop, and also quite likely to drop. The next bike I looked at was the CRF250L, which is a nice improvement in performance, all-round higher quality bike, better suspension. It does basically everything I want and is kind of in that sweet spot with the power. However, this is a really expensive bike. Plus, the maintenance schedule on that bike is crazy. We're needing to change your oil every couple of rides, and that just doesn't seem practical to me. So I think I need to write off that bike. Which then brings me to the Husqvarna 701 Enduro or the KTM 690 Enduro R, which are the two bikes that I've been drooling over the most, probably since I first laid eyes on them. I'm kind of going to treat these two bikes as one because there is very little to choose between them. They have the potential to be the Goldilocks of the dual sport bike. I mean, the perfect balance between on and off road. I can use it as a commuter. It has long service intervals, just like the CRF250L. It weighs the same as the CRF250L with more than 74 brake horsepower. So on road, I'm going to have all of that power available to me when I need it. The suspension is just a massive leap from what's available on the CRF250L, and the components are of a better quality. There are some obviously major drawbacks. The first one being the bike costs a lot of money. Although the service intervals are big, when I do get a service, it's going to be a lot more money. The insurance is going to be more expensive, and when I do eventually start breaking components on the bike, they're going to cost me more to replace. So there is a big jump in price going from the CRF250L to the Husqvarna KTM, but the bike does have everything I'm looking for. I'll be able to enjoy it on road, I'll be able to enjoy it off-road the same as I have done with the CRF250L. It will take me as far, if not further. And I think as far as progression goes, I'm not ready to move to a giant adventure bike. They're just too heavy and it's just not me. I want to keep riding these tight, twisty trails and improve my off-road ability. And I'm not ready to buy a proper dual sport, a proper dirt bike, because I need to commute on this thing and I need to ride long hours on the street. So that's not an option, and I think the platform that KTM and Husqvarna are offering is the ideal. Obviously I have quite a few pennies to save before that actually becomes a reality, so until then I will be enjoying many more hours on my Honda CRF250L, which I enjoy greatly, and looking to improve my riding ability. If you guys have any suggestions to what would be a good bike to progress to from the CRF250L in the same light that is able to do all of the magic that the Honda is able to do, then please leave a comment telling me what you recommend. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that thumbs up button, consider subscribing, and thank you guys so much for joining me on this ride. I hope to catch you in the next one. Peace.